So everybody's favorite crooked senator from California that's running for president, Harris, decided to do an interview on MSNBC, and I thought it was very interesting. Now it's about a document, or rather a letter that her and Blumenthal, the equally goofy senator from Connecticut, wrote to Trump cabinet members saying, "Hey, we want you to preserve these documents for the impeachment inquiry." And I'm going to play it. Then I'm going to tell you why it's so amazing.
I want to begin with what reads like a prosecutor's notice letter saying, preserve all your documents. This comes from you and Senator Blumenthal, two former state attorneys general. You actually referenced that in your letter. I think the recipients of this letter today know that very well about both of you. What are you hoping to accomplish with this?
Well, to put everyone on notice, Lawrence, that this is a process that is about pursuit of justice and truth, and that we are not going to tolerate in our role of oversight any conduct that interferes with that process. And so we are putting members of the cabinet on notice that they have a duty and a responsibility to preserve evidence, to protect whistleblowers, to protect the inspectors general of the various agencies, and to cooperate with this process. And frankly, to your point, the letter perhaps is unique because I don't think in recent history we've seen the need for those kinds of obvious points to be made. But with this administration, we can't take anything for granted, especially when we've seen the highest elected official in our government, Donald Trump, actively engage in the suppression of evidence and the intimidation of witnesses. So I applaud my colleague and friend, Senator Blumenthal, for all the work that he has done for so many years in the United States Senate. And he and I together have many shared experiences that tell us that as former prosecutors, this kind of letter and instruction is necessary with this administration.
So you saw that she was asked, what's the point of doing this? Which is a fair question. And her response is, well, we're trying to protect whistleblowers and inspector generals and, make sure that they're not gone after because that would be so bad. And, as someone who's followed politics, seriously since 2013, I remember Snowden getting in trouble, and Harris, who at that time was the California Attorney General, remaining very tight-lipped about what was being done to him and how he was being persecuted for revealing all of this classified information to that ignorant and very stupid American public. And it's like you had nothing to say about that. You had nothing to say about Assange, who we just had in the news relatively recently. You had nothing to say about the previous president, Trump's immediate predecessor, the one that everybody loves for no reason, jailing journalists 6 times with the Espionage Act for exposing war crimes within the U.S. government. Nothing at all. Just no kind of commentary, no rebuttal, no stance. And this is why I don't like the tribalism of U.S. politics, because you'll take an issue, right? And you'll get a person who is on the opposing side of whoever it affects, and they'll say, what a sick thing this person is doing. We cannot stand for this. But then when their person gets in office from their party, whether that's the White House, senator, congressman, and does something crooked or otherwise not morally correct, or just basically against whatever position they had previously, they cover it up. They write it off. This person who literally sat back as whistleblower after whistleblower got in trouble, gets condemned, and even, presently get in some kind of controversy as a result of their actions as it affected a Democrat in office or during a Democrat's tenure, is now telling me that because this new person is doing it with Trump, oh, it's okay, it's all good. And look, I have no problem with whistleblowers. I have a problem with crappy politicians like Harris who try to trick you into thinking that they actually care about any of these people. Because if you've been following this stuff long enough, you'll know, as far as whistleblowers are concerned, this isn't our first rodeo. But this is the first instance of one under Trump. And now they're all rushing to this person's defense when just a few years ago that word was a hush hush, a shh. Don't try to assist that person at all. Make sure that they're, given the full treason public image that the U.S. hates them, and makes sure to condemn them and tell people that they should be in jail for putting out our classified information. She was right in there with them if she wasn't, remaining quiet and ignoring the issue overall. But this is my point of how you can't have people who attempt to try and trick and deceive you be able, and like, if you look at the comment section for this video, which I'll try to remember to link in the description because sometimes I record and I forget, it's all the same stuff. Trump's going to jail, he's going to prison. How the hell is he going to go to prison if the people who are in charge of deciding that he gets removed from office are in his own party and will not vote against anything he does 80% of the time on average? But that's why I said people, they don't think rationally about things, which is why someone who did nothing to assist whistleblowers in the past, like Harris, is allowed to go on a station like that, pretend to be concerned, and not get laughed out of the room.